All right, welcome everybody to tonight's webinar, which is on the stages of shop expansion, and we're going to get into the importance of your employees and how that affects your business. So welcome everybody this evening, wherever you may be, East Coast, West Coast, of course us guys on the East Coast, because that's where I'm broadcasting from. We're at good old 7 p.m. in the evening, depending on where you are or what you're doing. I welcome you this evening for sure. All right, so we're going to get right into this thing and rock and roll. And before I do that, just want to introduce myself. My name is Jim Saeli. I'm a senior consultant and trainer over at Management Success. Some of you may know me, some of you may not, but I'm just going to give you a brief history about myself and this wonderful field we're all a part of. I got involved in this field back in 1984, started working at a dealership. Then that I'd consider my first real job in the field. Then from there, went to have my own shop for a number of years and found Management Success way back in 1997 and was a client of theirs and more than doubled my shop due to their training. And from there, moved on to getting out of the shop, working for Management Success almost for 10 years now, and helping shop owners improve the quality of their life. And that's the whole reason that Management Success exists. So I'm going to use my experience and what I know to help guide you and direct you here as to how you can actually improve your business and your life as well. So we're going to get in and talk about the stages of shop expansion, because the ultimate route to making your expansion and freedom goals a reality. Knowing what these stages are, knowing where you're at, why you get stuck at a certain stage. So what we're going to do is, of course, I have 6 stages listed up here. We're going to go over 4 of them. Stage 5 and 6 are for the more advanced type people. Just to give you a brief outline of that, Stage 5 is someone who has multiple locations and they're running on their own. Stage 6 is where guys get have the desire to actually help in the field and improve the industry, so it's more involvement in the industry as well. All right, so we're going to start with the bottom and work our way up. So stage 1. So what is stage 1? Well, most of the time is spent working on the cars. You have 1 to 3 helpers in the shop. You wear multiple hats, meaning you do everything in the shop for sure, and your monthly sales are $4,000 to $25,000. I know a lot of you started this way. I was really in this stage, truthfully, when we first started. But the interesting thing was we are all doing everything, running all over the place. And this is where you're at. You got to start somewhere. When start at stage 1. Now, why do you have reasons for success in here? Well, you have low overhead, and you're the best technician. You can give personalized service to your customers. You're low price because of your overhead, and truthfully, the shop is easy to manage because you know everything that's going on in your shop, and you know what's going on. But some of the issues and problems that you run into in this stage is when you do have people in there, nobody does it my way. They tend to do it the way they want to do it. They don't do it the way you want it done. And so that forces you to handle the tough ones. You work long hours. You have lots of work. You're making some money. Problem is you're tied to your business and you have no time and no freedom. And at every one of these levels, you will hit what's known as the confusion barrier. You hit that confusion barrier, you hit that ceiling, and bam, you don't expand any further. So some of the short-term solutions you come up with is, well, let's move to the front and sell. I'll have others fix cars and I'll help. But then you run into this situation where your sales, they boom and they bust. They go up, they go down. One of the long-term solutions for this one is to get out of the back. Because truthfully, you're not going to fix your business under the hood of a car. You know, unfortunately, when you're in the back of the shop, there's only so many hours in the day. There's only so much you can do. And it is one of the reasons you get burned out. So the truth of the matter is you got to get out of the back, or you got to get off the front counter. You got to give up one of those major responsibilities in the day-to-day actions of the business. All right? But with that, you need to have policies and procedures in place. You know, you need to establish these policies and procedures that says no more hey you. Well, you know the hey you organization is just everybody. You're calling out a name. You're calling out to somebody. You're asking them, tell me, hey, do this, hey, do that, hey, do this. That's your Hey You organization. And the other thing, too, to help you with long-term solutions on this is to manage your techs, your employees with statistics by tracking their numbers to see how efficient they are. But let's take a look and just talk about the real source of the problem here. The truth of the matter is the owner usually starts out as a tech and he knows how to fix the cars, and you folks do that really well. But the thing that holds you back is you lack business knowledge of how to fix the business. So we're going to move on because as you evolve with your shop, you start to get things in place, you can get into a position where you run up to stage 2. All right, so let's talk about what stage 2 is. Well, here what stage 2 is you have somebody in the front selling, you have 2 to 4 technicians in the shop, and your monthly sales run about $15,000 to $35,000 a month. So you're not doing bad. But again, you hit that confusion barrier and your yearly gross sales, you cap out at a certain point and you can't get any further. You've reached this ceiling. You've hit that. And here are some of the problems you run into stage 2. Your sales are boom and bust. Bam, they go up, they go down. If you were to look at your numbers and you keep track of them on a graph, it would look like you're going up and down a roller coaster. The other problem that you have here is your production problems kills your sales. Because when the guys in the back aren't getting the work done, no matter how much you have there, you will actually stop selling work. Other issue is because you're not bringing the money in, you can't afford another tech. You have lots of work, but still no money. So here are some of the short-term mistakes I've seen happen. Well, you hire another technician. That's good. But is he efficient? Is he productive? You save money by stop advertising. You save money by working on the cars and sell the work. But the long-term solutions here is to get the guys producing, get the techs producing in the shop that you have there now. Because the key here is by getting them to produce, getting them actually billing hours on a regular basis. That is the key. Because the other thing you got to realize is the techs work best at redline. So you need to have that motivation. You need to have them going. You need to have things rocking and rolling here. Because the problem is a lot of times you'll add a body to try to solve a production problem. But when you do that, you run up with too many employees and nobody works hard and it costs you big money. You got to keep a little more pressure on the business than it can actually stand. And to help that boom and bust situation that you have, the long-term solution here is you need to market. But let's get to the real source of the problem again, and that's this. The owner's a tech and he knows how to fix cars, and the lack of business knowledge is what's killing you here of how to fix the business. Now, when you do start to get these things in line, because you will learn things, you will get through these things, it depends on how long it takes you to do that, because the better that you are at understanding what's going on, the easier it is to fix it if you know how to do so. But some of you have moved on from here, and you've moved on to stage 3. Now, what's stage 3, and what does that mean? Well, let's take a look. Now you have a service writer estimator at the front counter. You have techs that are fixing most of the cars. As an owner, you have some freedom from the shop, but here's the thing. Truthfully, what you've done is you worked into managing the business. You're actually a good manager now. You're managing the business. You have others doing the work in the shop. And your monthly sales are between $25,000 and $50,000, and I've seen above that as well. But here's the problem, what runs into this stage. You know, where's the cash? Sales are up or profits are down. So why is that going on? Well, let's take a look at the problems. Each one of these stages has a problem, and just like problems and things that you have with your business, you have the same thing going on. You have problems. We deal with problems all day long, don't we? Fix problems with people's cars. Well, you have problems with your business too, and of course having the right tools helps you do that. So lack of financial knowledge, this is one that hurts you for sure. If you have a pricing issue, your pricing is not right, so one of the reasons you run into this issue. Lack of proper pay programs, meaning guys are not held accountable for their production. They don't have any skin in the game. And the owner gets to a point where he confuses what the management is, managing the shop, and what the owner's job is. Now, some of the short-term solutions I've seen is this. Well, you go back to stage 1 or 2. You go backwards. You start to go on the counter. You start to take things back over. You work long hours. You have stress, money problems. But I'm in control. I understand where you folks are coming from. I've been there myself. And the issues that we have, and sometimes it's like, well, let me go back to where I'm more comfortable. The truth of the matter is, you really need to work at getting over this so that you can get more control over your business. But of course, if you know the shop finances and you know how to control the bottom line of the business, you'll actually start to show the money and you'll start to free up your time even more when you really got this dialed in. One of the ways you can do that is by putting in a production-based incentive program, paying your guys based on what they produce, not the fact that they live and breathe and they exist in your building. Because the truth of the matter is, the shop makes money when they're actually turning wrenches. So if we look at a mechanical shop, a general repair shop, truck shop, we're mechanical, not collision. Tech should produce 35 to 40 build hours in a 40-hour week. If they are there 40 hours, they should produce 35 to 40 build hours. That's a good tech. Of course, if you have trainees, you have people that are less experienced, of course they're going to do less because they're not capable. But they're paid less of a wage. I'm talking about guys that know what they're doing. 35 to 40 build hours in a 40-hour week. Now, of course, that means that your technician efficiency is 90 to 100%, 10% efficient. Simple way to figure that out is you take the build hours that they do, divide it by the clock hours, and it'll show you this percentage. Okay? But here's the thing. That's for general repair shop. Collision, though, collision division, what's the key to your success in your business? That's production. And that is getting your guys to produce 65 to 85 build hours in a 40-hour week. That's why I want to get into and talk about your employees and the importance of them and their attitudes and what you're looking for so that you can get people that will produce like this, because the good guys do that. Now, I'm going to ask you the first polling question of the evening to see whether you're tracking with me or not and where you're at. Okay, I have, what stage do you feel you're in? I'm going to open up this poll. I'm going to launch this baby for you so you can see what it is. Okay, so just pick one of them, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, or stage 4. I've gone over the first 3 stages. I want to explain simply what stage 4 is. Stage 4 is a position where you have a manager in place, somebody is running the day-to-day operations, and you can come and go as you please from the shop. All right, but let's take a look. I want to see where you folks are with these stages here. Okay, so I'll give you a chance to answer that. So I want to see which stage you think you're in. Of course, this changes at times too. But, okay, we got a bunch of you voted already. I'm going to give you about another 5 seconds to answer this, and I'm going to close it. 4, 3, 2, 1, lift off. All right, we're going to close the poll. I'm going to share it with you. All right, so 40% of you are at stage 3. That's good. 30% of you at stage 2, 20% at stage 1, and 10% of you are at stage 4, and that's awesome. Now I have another polling question to go with this one, so I'm going to ask you that next. Okay, I'm going to pull up the next polling question, and now what I want to know is, let's hide that one. Now we're going to ask you, how long have you actually been in this stage? Less than 6 months, 6 months to a year, 1 to 3 years, 3 to 5 years, over 5 years. So go ahead and answer that one. Let's see where you're at with this. I want to see where you guys are at with this one. All right, a bunch of you are voting. I really appreciate that. You're voting quickly. You're with me tonight, and I appreciate that. That makes these things fly, rock and roll, and I know we're all very busy, so I want to get you a lot of information quickly, help you guys out here, see where you're at. Okay, so we've got a bunch of you voted already. I'm going to give you another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close the poll. Share it with you. 40% of you over 5 years. 40% of you 1 to 3 years, 3 to 5 years for some of you, and less than 6 months for some of you as well. Okay. As you can see, a bunch of you kind of get stuck in a certain area, don't you? You know, this has been going on for a while. Actually, 1 to 3 years. Wow. Okay, so you guys kind of get stuck here, and then what do you do? How do you go? How do you move forward from this? Okay, well, let's talk a little bit more about this. And again, the real source of the problem. You're a tech and you know how to fix cars. You lack the business knowledge of how to fix the business to get you into that stage where you can have freedom from the business. And like I said earlier, the key and the thing that really affects you here is your employees. They're a key element to getting your shop where you want it to be. And that's the one thing with guys that are at stage 4 with their business. They have this dialed in fairly well. and it really is the key to your success. So I want to get into employees and talk about those. The first thing you have is you have three kinds of employees that you deal with. All right. And yeah, you have three types of employees. So let's go over what they are. You have those who connect the dots and they take action. Awesome employees. They can see what's going on. They're a joy to work with because you can actually get them to work. They actually enjoy working. They'll actually produce something. So those are good employees. Then you have those who see the dots and they watch them. It's like, yeah, I see it, but yeah, it doesn't really matter to me. I think I was at a shop one day, and this is one of the things I do too for management success. One of the things I am doing now, I do a lot of teaching now back in the office, but I'm also out on the road and I'm doing inspections and visiting shops. I'm doing that again. And it's a very interesting thing. I talked to one guy, and he was dealing with a problem with the customer's car, and he said, well, you know, it really doesn't matter to me whether this thing gets done today, he said, because I know my car starts and drives, and I'm going to make it home. Oh, he was a good enough guy, but really wasn't that motivated. And then, of course, you have the person who says, what dots? They don't even see them. Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, you're kind of like wondering, oh, my goodness. Of course, which type do we want? We want the one who's gonna connect the dots and take action. Those are the employees. So let's take a look at your people and the traits and attributes, the things that you want them to have. As a matter of fact, it's a very good idea to sit down in your office, away from the day-to-day activities, maybe at the end of the day if you're in the shop involved with a whole bunch of things, because trying to do this during the day is kind of tough. But when you're looking for employees, I want you to actually sit down and just look at what an ideal employee would be for you. The type of person, their attitude, the way they handle people, the way they interact with everybody. So I want to go over those things because they're very important to the success of your business. So the first thing you got to understand is you want your employees to be friendly. You know, they need to be friendly in general. They need to be, they're friendly. They work well together. They help each other out. You know, they like people. That's a great idea. They like people. Now, I do understand when you're dealing with technicians, some of them don't necessarily like people. They like vehicles better than people. But you know what? As long as they can deal with people, somebody you have at the front counter, man, oh man, they need to like people, don't they? This is definitely a trait you want for the front counter. But for the back and the front, for that matter, you need somebody that's observant. They can spot what's going on. They can see things. Your technicians, let's take a look at your technicians. We need them to be observant when it comes to looking at a vehicle. We need them to also be observant up the front counter to see the actions and reactions from a customer when they come in. Their demeanor, their attitude, that kind of thing. So both in the front and the back, observant is very important. All right? They work so much better if they're observant. All right? They're interested in customer. They're interested in the customer. Somebody at the front counter definitely needs to have their interest in the customer. And they need to be interested in the problem. The technician in the back, they need to be interested in that problem too and solving that problem for the customer with what they're responsible for. And that's figuring out what the problem is and fixing it, man. That's what we're talking about here. All right. Now, you also want somebody that's not a show-off, man. This is the difference between what's known as interested and interesting. Interested is somebody whose attention is on that customer and helping them fix the problem. Interesting is somebody who just likes to put on a show and likes to everybody to think that they're awesome. All right, so we don't want that show off. That's why I say you don't want to show off. And they communicate well. All right, they communicate well, and that's important both for the front and the back, and here's why. The front, of course, it's a no-brainer. They need to communicate, and they need to be willing to talk to customers, listen to what a customer has to say, but the guys in the back need to be able to do that too. You know, the gals in the back, being able to communicate, talk about problems, talk about issues, talk about things that are going on, that's a very important thing. All right, and of course, someone at the front counter needs to have good sales skills. They need to understand that they are selling. That's what they're doing up front. And it's very important that they understand that. Good sales skills are important. Now, the guys in the back need to understand that they need to let the customer know what's going on. to allow the person up front to sell. If that car, and this is the thing that they need to have, everybody needs to have a high care factor. They care about that customer and their vehicle, and to make sure that that thing's fixed right the first time. That has one heck of a value, and this is a value you provide for your customers. And your employees need to have this high care factor. This high care factor is very important, and now as you can see, the truth of the matter is I would rather have an employee who has less knowledge in the field and has these traits or attributes than one who's really well trained but has a chip on their shoulder. Because the person who has the right attitude, I can train them. They're actually a joy to train. Will they leave you? Yeah, some of these guys, they'll actually move on to start their own businesses. But you know what? That's fine. There's plenty of work out there. But let's ride the wave while we have it, man, because I'll tell you, it makes a difference. But a high care factor is very important both in the front and the back. You got to realize you're taking care of that customer's car. They depend on it. They rely on you, depend on you. You got to make sure you do a good job, because you also need people that enjoy responsibility. They enjoy that responsibility. They know what it means to be responsible and taking care of that customer. And truth of the matter is, customers expect a shop to be perfect, don't they? Which means that makes us 100% responsible for this vehicle. But the customer, on the other hand, since they're giving that responsibility to us, that means they count on us and depend and rely on us. If there's a problem, what do? They blame us. So let's take on that responsibility. And the guys that you have that enjoy this responsibility, man, they make things happen. And of all the shops that I go to and all the employees I've met over the years, and the shop owners for that matter, the fact that you have these attributes help you and make the business successful. And of course, being organized is another help. That's for sure. Now, I know we've been talking about stages of your business, and I want to go into and ask another polling question for you, and that's this one. At any point, were you at a higher stage with your business and you dropped to a lower one? So let's go ahead and answer that, see where you're at. I want to see where you've gone with that for sure, because it does happen. And on this one here, I'd like to have the music playing in the background. You guys are voting very quickly. I really appreciate that. And we're moving right along. Okay. I need music playing in the background. I can hum some tunes and all that. And always I think about this, I think of my parents. They always watch Jeopardy, and yeah, this would be about the time that the final Jeopardy would be questioning, and that's what we're doing here. I'm going to give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, we're going to close the poll. I'm going to share it with you. All right, 42% said yes, you've dropped into a you were higher stage and dropped into a lower one. 50% said no, that's good. 8% said I'm not sure. And I can understand that, because sometimes you're like, but Jim, I'm like in stage 2.5. I'm stage 3.5. I'm stage 1. I'm kind of in between. Well, you got to take a look at, do you have your responsibilities divided up, or are you still running around? Yeah, you do bounce back and forth. But the key of it is here, it's important to know where you are. In anything, it's important to know where you are, because when you know where you are, you can figure out where you're going. I know that sounds kind of crazy and silly sometimes, but you know what? If you don't know where you are, it's kind of hard to see where you're going. So I want to talk about the last stage here, in stage 4, the last one I'm going to get into this evening, because when you're in stage 4, you do have employees that have a lot of the right attributes. This is where you start to get freedom from your shop. So let's take a look and talk about this one. Because here's the thing, when you're in stage 4, money is good. You're well organized. You have a manager. You have somebody else running the day-to-day operations. And one of the things that happens is the owner gets bored, because you don't have a game anymore. You have the shop. You beat the shop. The shop's doing well. One of the problems, though, and the things that you can run into at this stage, is your long-term growth is uncertain. The owner gets to a point where they're not happy at the shop anymore, and they tend to feel trapped. And the other thing that you can run into is the owner doesn't know exactly what their job is anymore. So I want to talk about the source of the problems here, because it's a little bit different. And the source of the problem is this. You don't feel challenged anymore. This can also be why you will, if you're not challenged and you're getting bored and you don't have something to do, I've seen this happen where guys mess with the shop. And what ends up happening when this happens to you, you could end up dropping back to one of the stages. And that's why I asked that question previously. I was curious to see where you are with that, because it does happen. And if it's happening to you, don't worry, you can fix it. All right. For those of you it hasn't happened yet, good. You still have the passion there. Keep it going. But you don't feel challenged. You have no real game in life in the business anymore. You don't know what your business goal is. And here's an interesting thing, because when I talk about this to talk to shop owners, I just talked to a shop owner recently who's got his shop in stage 4. It's running well. He's able to do other things, and he's enjoying that. But it's interesting, when I talked about his business goal, he gave me a money goal. He said, well, it's the money. Money's never a goal, though. It's a target. That's something you're trying to attain. A target is important to have, but it's not the goal. It's not the end goal. I'll give you an example of a goal that I got from a shop owner that I asked him, what's your goal for your business? And he said, to be the #1 shop in our area where we fix it right the first time and we wow the customer and they become raving fans and they recommend their friends and family members. That guy right there totally understood what his goal in his business was. He had a money target as well. He had a goal to shoot for money, but that's not a real goal. It's just a target. It's something you attain that target. What happens after that? You set another target for money. Great. But money isn't the thing that makes things go around. It allows you to do things, but it's not the reason we're happy. Okay. Now, I have another polling question I'm going to ask you here and get you on this one here. All right. And that's this. Are you as passionate about your business as you used to be? Okay, so let's go ahead and answer that one and see where you're at with this, and I'll share this with you as well, because I can understand how that happens as well. Okay. Alrighty, so we're getting our polling questions answered here. I kind of throw this last one in there. I'm done. I try to lighten things up a little bit, because sometimes when talking about this stuff, it can get kind of serious, and I don't want you to be serious. When we get serious, we go, our attitude changes, not for the better. But, hey, some of you feel that way. You're like, dude, I'm done. I want out. And I've run across guys like that too. So, okay. And let's see if we can get a couple more of you to vote. I'm going to close this in about 10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, here we go. We're going to close it. Okay. 45% of you still passionate about your business. That's good. 45% of you said sometimes. And 9% of you said, no, I'm not. And I can understand how that happens. You can get bored with it. But, the key here is let's look at what the owner's job is to help you with this one. All right. Okay. So we're going to, there's the goal. There's the target for you. You can see it. And then let's get into what the job is as the owner. Okay. Now, so the owner's job, I got a blank screen here. So let's go over what your job is as the owner. Well, that's to work on the business, not in the business. That means you're getting others to do the day-to-day actions. And you're actually planning for the future of the business, planning for where you're trying to get this thing. All right. The way you do that is by setting goals. You set targets along with those goals, but you set those goals that you're the captain of this ship. Where are we taking this ship? What are we trying to achieve here? What level of professionalism do you want in this shop? So you set those goals. And then you write policy. Policy and procedure are the guidelines by which everyone follows the way you want things done. I know you guys want that mini-me, that person that's going to do things just the way you did it. Well, policy and procedure is the thing that helps you with that. And when you have people in place doing the day-to-day actions, it frees up your time to allow that to happen. And then you create plans to handle the situations in the business to improve what you have going on, to take your shop from the way it is right now, known as the existing scene, to get you to that ideal scene. If your shop was perfect, what do you want it to be? And work towards that. And you create plans to do that. and then you execute those plans. You get those plans carried out. And the great thing about this is when you're truly an owner of the business, you're giving somebody else those plans, and they're going to execute the steps of those plans to make it happen. And that's how you get there. Because the truth of the matter is the purpose as an owner of the business is what you're trying to do is to get others to get things done. It's not to do it all yourself. I know each and every one of you are in a situation with your business or in your business, especially if you're a technician and that's the way you came up through this business. When you were a tech, you struggled along the way, you learned a bunch of things, but now you can dial in, you know exactly what to do, and you can fix that car. You could direct somebody else to fix a car just by them telling you what needs to be done. But your purpose as an owner is to get others to get things done. Turn that over to somebody else. Because truthfully, your goal here could be become a master of shop management and make the business operational. Operational means working without much attention. So what I want to do is I'm going to share with you what the definition of operational is. Because this is an awesome place to be with your business, and that's this. We're a shop that works well without further assistance or attention from the owner. It continues to grow and remains profitable by its employees who operate on the owner's plans and policy, which keep the whole organization moving towards the attainment of a common shop goal. And that's truly what operational means. Now, here's the key here, and I know when I say this sometimes, some of you are like, well, you know what? I like being at my shop, and when I look at this, I think that means I don't have to be there, or you're kicking me out of the shop. No, I'm not kicking you out of the shop, but I want you to have your shop in this condition. I want your shop to be in a condition where you can do the things that you want to do, that you don't have to be involved in all the day-to-day actions, but maybe you want to be involved because that cool car comes in and you want to fix that difficult problem or something that nobody even knows how to do anymore, you know? That thing that's a time waster, you don't make money on, but you like working on it because you have a really good old customer that you like to take care of. So mess with the car because you have the freedom and the time to do that because everybody else is humming along, the bills are paid, and everything's going along well because you've got your shop operational. So that's operational. It's an awesome stage to be in, and that brings me to my next polling question because I want to find out, I want to see if you guys want to know this. What stage would you like to be in? That's what I want to find out from you. So I'm launching this right now and see where you guys are at with this. And you guys are voting. You guys are voting good. But yeah, you know, it's good to look at this stuff and keep yourself focused and keep your eye on the ball because I know sometimes it gets hard when you're in the trenches and the day-to-day actions and you kind of lose track of what you're trying to achieve. But, you know, it's good to keep your eye on the ball, as they say. So we got a whole bunch of you here voting away, and we're doing well. It also depends on what stage you're in. Maybe you're focused on the next stage, and that's fine, too. Don't be afraid of that. But I've got a majority of you voting. I'm going to give you another 5 seconds here. I'm going to give 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to close the poll. I'm going to share it with you. 91% of you want to be in stage 4, and that's awesome because that gives you freedom to do the things you want to do. Shop could definitely be one of them. 9% you want to be up stage 3, and that's great too because I know some of you love the game and you love being in there. But I'd like to see you be there at the shop and also get to stage 4 as well because it gives you more freedom. But I do appreciate you sharing on that one. Okay, so we're going to close that poll. We're going to move on to the next polling question, and that is this. What is the biggest barrier that's holding you back from taking your shop to the next level? Let's see what it is. So I have employees, card count, finances, space. I don't know what to do. All right. This also helps me because if I know the things that are really affecting you, then we can do webinars in the future to actually direct and guide you here to help you with this. Okay. So go ahead and vote on this one. And let's see where we're at here. And I do appreciate your time. I know I'm running a little longer than expected sometimes. I know I try to do these and get you a lot of stuff quickly because I know you're really busy. But I'm going to give you another 10 seconds here. We're at 8 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're going to close this poll out. I'm going to share it with you. And here's what 73% of you said employees. All right, car count's another issue, space is another, and I don't know what to do. So 27% of you got these other issues. And here is the thing, folks. You do know that Management Success is here to help you. That's the purpose and why we exist, is to help you improve the quality of your life and improve your business by doing so. By improving your business, that improves the quality of life. So I see employees is definitely an issue, and it is a hot topic. I hope that some of the things that I talked about this evening can help you with that. What I would like to do is you can call the office and give feedback on what you would like to hear in the future to help you with this. But I do want to share a couple of things to help you out that we have coming up, and just tell you about them so you know what we got going on. So I am going to do that right now. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but we hold a convention. All right, we hold a convention in the spring and the fall, and our spring convention's coming up March 24th through the 26th, and it's at the Omni Orlando Resort at Champions Gate, so it's in Orlando, Florida, nice sunny Florida. And for those of you who have been to a convention before, I know there's a lot of information in a convention. It will help you get motivated. It connects you up with shop owners that are doing really well. And it's an awesome, awesome experience. It's a 3-day deal. It's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now, depending on what your involvement has been with Management Success in the past, we have different levels of going to this convention and being a part of it. But it's 3 days. And depending on what part you're at, if you haven't really done anything with us, we actually have an interactive workshop on the Saturday and Sunday. Friday, you'll be part of the whole convention. Saturday and Sunday, we have an interactive workshop, which gets into more detail, a lot more detail, 2 full days of detail about the things that I was talking about, the different stages, why you get stuck in certain stages, more of the solutions to the problems, because here I am talking for, not that long, for 45 minutes here or whatever. So there's only so much that I can cover. But this is what we go over, what you're doing right. How can I reduce the stress of running a shop? How do I price my parts and labor correctly? What can I do to better market and promote my shop? Handling customers, hiring qualified help, managing employees, increasing your production, increasing those profits, managing by your statistics, your numbers, your KPIs, key performance indicators, using a computer to make you more efficient, and truly being the owner. And that's what we go over in the interactive workshop. But you see, with the convention, you see, we used to do these interactive workshops all over the country a whole bunch of times a year, but we've narrowed it down to twice a year now because we find that with the conventions you get so much more. You meet other shop owners, there's awesome networking, there's activities, there's exclusive workshops, there's what we call the Masters Panel where you get to sit in with guys who are very successful with their businesses and pick their brains on how they do things. We got awards dinners, we have a themed dinner as well, while we recognize guys who are doing well, and you can hear how they've done it as well. New breakthroughs of what's going on, latest news and advancements of shop expansion being released by Management Success to help you. So that is something that you have available, and please call the office to find out more. It says the early bird fee is $7.99 for the first 50 shops to register. Because you're on the webinar this evening, they have a special price of $595. You can say, Jim Saeli said that if I sign up for the convention, it's $595. Well, for those guys here at this, that is what you're able to do. So give us a call and just mention me, and they can blame it on me, so don't worry, I can take that. But it is an awesome experience. But I do know, too, that one of the problems you do have is some of you might be busy that weekend. You can't take the time off, so how can you get some help? Well, we've worked out a solution for that one, too. We have what's known as a shop business analysis, and what this allows you to do is this allows you to actually get an analysis of your shop and get help directly from your business. You don't have to go anywhere to do this. This service was actually developed by an advisory council of shop owners with Management Success, and it can be done from the comfort of your own shop. It's a one-time service at a very low cost, a low-time investment. It's $395. It'll identify the areas of the shop that need to be addressed to get you to the next level. You'll receive a detailed diagnostic of where the shop's weaknesses and strengths are, and your goals will be explored as well. And then you'll have solutions to address the weaknesses and strengths and achieve your goals. That'll be laid out for you too. It'll complete a complete review of your numbers to determine what needs to be done to increase your profits for the shop. A complete analysis of your shop's online presence by our social media expert to show you exactly what needs to be done to increase your car count immediately. And we've had clients that receive this service that have increased their online presence by 200%. I'm not saying that happens with everybody, but it is very very effective, because this is the opportunity to talk one-on-one to one of our master consultants and pick their brains about your shop, and it's specifically tailored to your shop and your needs. So that's another thing that we have available to you. Now, I want to appreciate you all for listening this evening. I hope I've given you some tips to help you improve your shop and move through the stages. So we do have these services offered for you. I want to thank you all for attending. I do have one last polling question, and that is, I want to find out if any of you are interested in any of these things. If you would like to find out more about the shop business analysis or the interactive workshop / convention, just go ahead and click on this one quickly. Listen here, guys. I'm not here to sell you anything. I just want to know, because we are here to help you. So go ahead and click that for me. That just helps me, so we can help you. All right. And of course, I have on the bottom, no, I'm beyond help. Again, let's keep it light, folks. Let's not take things so seriously. I know sometimes you may feel that way, but my whole point here is we're here to actually help you, and here to do that. So you can give us a call to find that out. All right. And I'm going to close this poll just in a second here, because the truth of the matter is, folks, you know, it's what you don't know about your business that's holding you back, because if you knew what the problems were and you knew what to fix it, you could handle it. But I want to thank you all, folks, for being here. And of course, to find out more about us, find out more about us and what we're all about, just give us a call at 818-500-9631. We are here to help you, or visit our website at www.managementsuccess.com. So I want to thank you all for attending this evening. Of course, if you do end up going to Orlando, come and grab me and say hello, because I will be there. And I really appreciate your time, folks. Guys, I want to share too, you guys work really hard. You wear your hearts on your sleeves. You deserve to do well. I want to thank you all for attending this evening, and I wish you the best of luck. Thank you very much, folks.